Welcome back, everybody, to another 30 days of VSO. If you guys aren't subbed up to the VSO Gun Channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below and turn those notifications on so you'll know next time I have a silly idea. Now, what I have here actually is a 300 Blackout SBR, but this will work for any rifle, pistol, any firearm really. And today's topic actually comes from a viewer asking about what does it mean when I say height over bore. You guys will hear me say that periodically in videos, and what I mean by that is the height of the optic over the bore matters, and this is especially true when we're talking about super close range shooting when it comes to rifles. And what you have to understand is when you shoulder the rifle, my eye looks in a straight line, the optic looks in a straight line, but what we're actually doing is trying to co-witness a straight line with an arc and a parabola actually, which is the flight of the bullet. Because we live on a planet that has gravity, the bullet leaves the barrel and then it flies down range and it must return back to the earth because the earth is going to pull it towards itself. And that forms a parabolic flight path. And what we're doing when we're sighting the optic in is actually syncing, if you will, that straight line with that arc in one particular place. Well, every other distance, that is going to be different. And it doesn't matter what kind of bullet it is, what kind of firearm it is. This happens for all bullets. They must come back down to earth. Now, what that means is that depending on the type of bullet and the type of shooting that we're doing, we may have to change the angle of the barrel ever so slightly to achieve the desired effect on target. And that means that we may have to increase the angle of the barrel or decrease the angle of the barrel depending on the flight characteristics of the bullet. Well, height over bore matters for the super short stuff. So as we tend to get closer to the target, away from our zero, the distance between the center of the muzzle and the center of the optic will start to become apparent. And what we're going to do here today is a real quick demonstration of how this looks. So for that here today, we're going to be shooting Fiocchi 220 grain subsonic 300 Blackout ammo, and I've got it loaded up in this blue C Products magazine. So I've got a shootsteel.com target downrange. We're going to go ahead and take some shots. So what we see here is this is the first shot, second shot, third shot, and then the last two are pretty much in the exact same spot. And what this corresponds to is some flight downrange, like if I just shoot this gun right now at that piece of steel down there, that's where it's zeroed, but we're inside of that range. So as I get closer and closer to this target, the farther down that arc I go, close to where the bullet originated. When I get super close, you can see that if I'm aiming at the A there, that basically where the muzzle is are pretty much at exactly the same level, because basically as far as the bullet is concerned, it is in a very low percentage of its rise up to the zero, the first point of contact with that line of sight, if you will. And it will, most of the time, if it's done properly, will rise past the line of sight and then come back down and give us a second yardage for zero. This is why a lot of times you hear a zero given in two yardages or two measurements, something like a 25-400 zero or 25-300 or 50-300 or something like that, depending on the caliber. A lot of the times, that's why that is done that way. However, this is pertinent when we're talking about shooting inside of something like our home with any firearm, especially a rifle, because there will be an offset. It doesn't matter so much on a pistol because the sights are mounted right on top of the slide most of the time, and you won't see that deviation quite as much on a pistol. Now, if you have raised suppressor sights, you will start to see it. But for instance, if I step this thing back to 7 yards, we can see at like 7 yards, 21 feet or something like that, that to put perfect shots on the A box of that target, that I need to adjust my point of aim ever so slightly high. Now, if we want to move in, we're now at roughly half that distance. If I want to put perfect shots on that A box, and I almost have to, let's say, try the top of the head, for instance. Just above the A box, aiming at the top of the head. So basically right about where the forehead would be to put it in the A box. Now, this distance, we're talking about point shooting distance, but if we want to be super accurate for those close quarters things, then we definitely need to be cognizant of this phenomenon, and it's all driven by physics. I hope that you guys enjoyed something. If you learned something here today, make sure you smash that subscribe button and obviously share it around so that maybe you can bring your friends here into the fold here at the VSO Gun Channel.